I've been thinking about Carney and Musk because as a professor in global security, the number one thing I get asked on social media is, well, what can I do about the world? As though people are powerless. At Davos, the Canadian Prime Minister invoked the 1978 essay by Havel, The Power of the Powerless. Centering on the question, how does the communist system sustain itself, this Czech dissident asked you to consider that it's not through violence, it's through everyday people upholding the lie. He gives the example of the greengrocer who goes to work every day and puts up a sign in his window saying "Workers of the world unite," despite the fact he knows that this is a lie, that working conditions for the people around him aren't getting better. The point that Havel is stressing is that the willingness to be bound by that lie underpins the power of the system itself, but also reveals its fragility, because all it takes to reveal the cracks is for people to take down their signs, which shows that they're no longer willing to uphold the lie. If you've seen the TV series Chernobyl, it captures these dynamics as after the nuclear meltdown, people were no longer willing to simply go along with the lie, and the cracks became chasms as the Soviet Union fell apart. Now, in Carney's speech, he goes on to talk about middle powers and world order, which I actually research and I'm happy to chat about. But this loses the emancipatory value of the individual, which is what Havel's point was. For example, there are 22 million people in the UK and 94.8 million people in Europe with accounts registered on X. Just let that sink in for a minute. So we can either continue to be the greengrocer who puts up the sign every day and logs into X, or we can take down our signs and delete our X accounts. Now you might be like me, I have an X account, but I haven't logged in months. But that doesn't really send a signal, does it? So on February the 1st, I've decided I'm going to delete my X account. By all means, join me if you like, invite your friends. But either way, never forget the power of the so-called powerless. Oh, and if you're wondering, whatever happened to that Czech dissident, Havel? He went on to become the first democratically elected president of the Czech Republic.